Might the mighty, mighty winds of change be shifting on the A.J. Brown front? The NFL's most plugged-in insider has an update on the future of the Eagles star wide receiver. Plus, we'll go through the Eagles free agents to be and lay out some potential contract proposals, some interesting decisions coming for Howie Roseman. Jake Elliott, will he be back in 2026? We wrap up our Stay or Go series with the specialists. And who's the most hated player in the NFL? Hint, clue, plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. We welcome you to Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL. Mr. Barrett Brooks, I'm Michael Barkan. I bet you can't wait to talk about the kickers.
Love talking about the kickers.
What do you love about it?
They kick.
Are kickers even football players in your view, as objectively as you can?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely hard being a kicker. I mean, you get paid just to kick, but just the being out there and having all that pressure on you for that moment in time is crazy amount of pressure they have on them. So yes, it is. It is a sport, and you have to have a strong leg for it.
To me, the bottom line is, can you make a tackle? We have seen Jake Elliott make tackles.
No question, yes.
That's when a kicker is a football player.
Right.
Perhaps the biggest roster question this offseason, though, surrounds A.J. Brown. Today on 97.5, the Fanatic, ESPN's Adam Schefter asked to update what he thinks will happen with Brown this offseason.
I felt like it could go either way. My guess, if I had to guess, would be I'd lean towards the trade, but it could go either way. Isn't that what I said last week?
Yes.
I'd flip it the other way, and I'd still say it still could go either way, but I'd lean safe rather than out. We've always said that they're in the business of acquiring elite players, not unloading them. And I still think that that's the case. And so I'll still say, to me, it could go either way, but I would be more inclined to say that he'd stay there. And by the way, I could come back on next week and shift it again.
Shifty it again. So that brings up our three-point stance presented by Toyota. Stance one. Stance one equals take one. This is a take. Keeping A.J. Brown is the best possible outcome for your Philadelphia Eagles. Adam Schefter says he's now leaning slightly toward Brown staying with the Birds. Barrett, how encouraging is that to hear?
It's encouraging, but I always knew that he was going to be here. I'm saying that as it's already, written in stone, he's going to be here. Why? Not because, what's going on behind the scenes, but it's just he's a great player. He's a player that we really can't get rid of. Just what Schefter just said that, Howie Roseman said. He is a great player. He's a player that you want on your team. Regardless, I think he'll be here because he's so talented. And everybody's saying, he might have lost a step. Well, what are you talking about? What step are you talking about? He's not that type of receiver. He wants to go out there and Debo you. He wants to go out there and be a physical type of receiver. That's why he runs the slant so well, because he muscles guys. He Debo's guys. And when he does get an opportunity to catch a deep ball, he's fast enough, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know if he's lost a step, but he's fast enough to go out there, beat guys on the post, but then he uses his body to shield them off to catch the ball. He gives lay hands. So, yes, do I think that he's going to be here? Absolutely. Like I said, Howie thinks the same thing because he is a ball player. And plus, the cap hit that he might get, $43 million, they're not in the business of just having that much money on the cap and not have a player there to do it. I know they did it with, the quarterback, and Carson Wentz was a totally different situation. But I do think he'll be here.
All right, stance number two. Jalen Hurts leads the league in haters. This is according to a Vegas insider ranking, which found the Eagles quarterback to be the most hated player in the NFL based on social media interaction. Barrett, number one, do you buy it? Number two, what will it take for Hurts to silence the doubters?
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. Hurts doesn't care about silencing anybody. He goes by what he does on the field. His play dictates who he is. He may not be like everybody else. He's not going to go to the, he's not one of those guys going to go out and kick it with you, and party with you. He'd rather sit back and watch film on the next opponent. He'd rather do things like that. He's always wanting to be the best version of himself he can be. So do you think he'll be it? You think he'll be a like person? I don't know. Even in the locker room, they said he likes to be to himself. So what? mean, as long as he's out there balling, I could care less. Yeah, I understand he's the quarterback and they want him to be more, happy and go lucky, but he's just not that type of dude. Not from my experience with him. He's very to himself. He's very, he's a very, passionate guy about the game that he plays. Now, I understand people don't understand where he talks. He talks like he's a fortune cookie. Confucius say, this, you got to take a deuce, you got to flush, and you got to keep going. Yes, he can have that,
That was
all right,
nuts.
Confucius, that's cool. Just as long as you out there throwing dimes, hitting them receivers in the middle of the field, going on the sender, letting them go in motion, and then, getting the ball out to receivers, I could care less what he does. Number one is number one because he's the quarterback of this team. Let him alone. You don't have to like him. Just as long as you're going to hate him more on Sunday when he's beating you. That's all I'm caring about.
All right, take the deuce, and that's it, man. That was stance number deuce. Stance number trace. Number 3, the Eagles should be focused on the offensive linemen at next week's Combine in Indianapolis. There are a host of projected first-rounders slated to work out. We've discussed some of them on the program before, including Alabama's Caden Proctor. I know you love him, Barrett.
Yes.
But another player who turned some heads at the Senior Bowl and could test his way into the first round, Arizona State's Max Ihenachor. What do you like about him?
Everything. I love everything about him. Great size, 6'5", 325 pounds. He's very athletic. He has some of the quickest feet I've seen in this draft. I mean, he puts them down 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. He's never really off balance because he keeps his feet underneath him. He has great bend. He's okay at running the rock. He can come off the rock and hit you. But I tell you what, his size, speed, his base bend, he has that quick twitch getting off the ball. He'll be perfect here in Philadelphia. You know how you see Jordan Mailata. You see Lane go out there and Johnson when he gets out there and he pops out of the stance. He has that same quickness out the stance. He has that same explosiveness. He's this far from being, a young Jason Peters, not where he developed into being the all-pro Jason, but he's a young Jason Peters. He has that type of potential. He's going to be a really good player in the NFL because his feet are so good. You can't buy those feet. He's everything's 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. I love watching film on him. Now, he needs to work on his punch, and that's something he'll get when he gets here if they do draft him. They'll work on the punch for him. He kind of punches and gets his arms out wide. He'll eventually get him inside, and once these guys start bull wrestling, he'll know to get his hands inside. But he's the type of guy that you want to do. It's not to say he's like clay that you have to morph into it. He's already got his shape already. All I have to do is refine, marks in there, and he'd be the greatest, piece of clay that you could have. That's how good this kid's going to be.
Max Ihenachor from ASU.
Ihenachor,
We shall
Max.
see.
Let me get used to saying that name, Ihenachor.
All right. Hey,
There we go.
He's not just a general manager in this segment. He's going to be a general manager later on this program.
How we look at Max?
Eagles' big 4 free agents are set to hit the market, and we, Reed Barrett, will try to make some deals that could satisfy both team and player. Stick around for more Birds Huddle presented by Toyota in a moment.
I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple months, next couple weeks, a couple months. So it's like I don't know if I'm going to play with the guys that I done played with for 4 years or I done built a relationship with or the guys that I went to school with and I was playing. So I'm kind of going through all them emotions.
And I want to be on a competitive team and in an environment where I love the guys I'm around and love the organization I'm playing for. So I feel that here. So we'll see.
Nakobe Dean and Jaelan Phillips discussing their future as the season came to a close last month. The big 4 to keep an eye on: Phillips, Dean, Reed Blankenship, and Dallas Goedert. We've looked at past precedent as well as projected deals to come up with offers, and I'll present them to General Manager Barrett Brooks, and he will decide whether or not we've got a deal. First up, Mr. GM, Jaelan Phillips, 26 years old, former first-rounder, came over at the trade deadline for a third-rounder. He had 5 sacks on the season. We're comping his deal to what Josh Sweat got last year from Arizona. So here's our offer. 4 years, $78 million, which is just north of Sweat's deal. Who says no? Huh?
You know what? I'm looking at that deal and I said, it looks pretty good to me. And if I was the GM, I'd say, you know what? At this point, we have another player we may have to sign in Nolan Smith. But I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm going to say, you know what? I'll pick up Nolan's 5th-year option. That gives me 2 years that I can work it out. a deal, before I give him the money. And I could have him for 2 years. I can have Jaelan Phillips for the next 2 years. And I'm pretty sure that, Vic Fangio is going to be kind of insistent on bringing this guy here, leaving this guy where he is. So I can see him saying, yes, I want to keep him here. So, yes, I will sign him. That's a pretty good deal for me.
All right.
Probably be more, but pretty good deal for me.
Now, you are reporting to Mr. Howie Roseman, who's the head of football operations. You
Absolutely.
Think does he go for that?
Well,
4 years, $78 million?
It depends on if Vic Fangio goes to the office with me when I go propose it to him and say, hey, we kind of want this guy here. You kind of influence him a little bit.
Got it. Continuing, we've got Nakobe Dean, who many say was the heart and soul of the Eagles defense. Former third-round pick, 26-year-old, racked up 55 tackles, 4 sacks in just 10 games in his return from a torn patellar tendon. We're comparing him to another linebacker who got paid last offseason despite a long injury history, Dre Greenlaw. He got 3 years, $31.5 million from the Broncos. 3 years, $31.5 million. So the offer to Dean is 3 years and $33 million. Would he take it, Barrett? Would the Eagles go that high? Would you go that high?
When I'm looking at that linebacker position, there's a lot of money being tied up with it. Zach Bond got 53, 4 years. And I'm thinking, But then I think I break it down a little further. I said, you know what? That's just $11 million a year. Guys, I think we can get by with that. $11 million a year. Even though, we have young guys here, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and Smile Munden. I really like when these guys play, and we understand first rounder, Mr. Campbell, we understand that, but we can work him in there. He could have, reps there, and we understand it's like an injury history when it comes to the linebacker. So, Dean, for $11 million a year, I might make that happen, yes.
All right, might make that.
So that's two that I have, I'm saying.
That are here. Yes. That one's a definite maybe, but okay. Now we come to one of the captains of the defense, Reed Blankenship. The former undrafted free agent is 26 years old, third on the team in tackles. He's got 9 career interceptions. He's a ball hawk. We're looking at the contract Jeremy Chin received from the Raiders last offseason. 2 years, $16.5 million. We bumped it up a little bit for Blankenship to 2 years and $18 million. Will both sides do this deal, Barrett?
Now, this is going to be pretty tough. Very, very tough. Even though I love Reed Blankenship. And, it'll be hard for me to work that deal out. Even though it's only $9 million a year. I mean, what does he bring to this team? His locker room, he's a great dude. Everybody loves him. They enjoy him. The fans love him.
Hard hitter. Around the ball.
Always. I mean, he's one of the most focused guys you can have on the squad. But can you go out to free agency and get a guy just like him? You probably could. You wouldn't have that locker room mentality that's guaranteed that you have with Reed Blankenship. He's a general on the field. But can we get a guy similar to him? I think we can.
Ooh, that's a tall order.
But I also think he's going to garner some big money. People say, you know what? He's a lot better than what his 40 time was. So we're going to give him a shot. We're going to pay him a little bit of money, see if we can bring that type of deal to our locker room.
So no. That's a no.
That's a no because he's going to get a lot more than that.
So there's the GM's first no on the big 4 free agents.
Finally, get that money.
We get to tight end Dallas Goedert. This is tricky. A year ago, he took a pay cut, but still made $10 million. 31-year-old, produced career highs in catches and touchdowns. He had 11. We're looking at the contract Evan Engram got from Denver last offseason. 2 years, $23 million. And we're going to offer Goedert 2 years, $24 million. Do we have a deal from the team? Do we have a deal from the player?
We'll have a deal with the team. The team's go, yeah, we'll give you that. We'll definitely give you that. I mean, I know you took the family discount of $10 billion last year. We understand that. And we're going to give you a little more. But I don't know, man. At this point, $12 million a year, I don't know if they're going to be able to match everybody else's offer because somebody's going to swoop in and give him more than that. Even though, with the injury history, they're going to give this man an opportunity. He had 11 touchdowns during the season, but also had 3 more, 2 more, 3 more, in the postseason. So his numbers are great. What he does on the field is great. I think Pitts is the best tight end right now you're seeing that's going to be on the market or they're going to be trying to trade for. I just think he's going to go get more money somewhere else. We gave you the family discount. Now we got to move on and get our big money. You know, we got a short amount of time to maximize our money make potential. We're going to go make our money. And I think he leaves.
So yes to Phillips and Dean, no on Blankenship and Goedert. The one concern I have is the injury histories, as you said, Dallas Goedert and Nakobe Dean.
Absolutely.
Are those major risk issues for you?
No, because when they do come back, they ball. You know, and you look at Nakobe. When he's on the field, you're hard-pressed to find a better middle linebacker. What he does on the field, his ability to blitz, his ability to break down stuff. Him and you know, him being out there gives your will linebacker a little more to go out there and roam and do your thing out there. So, yes, you know, Zach Bond loves him. That's why I would do it.
All right. Mr. GM has spoken.